How's it going, guys? It's Friday night. My girlfriend's out of town and there's nothing better to do than machine. So my buddy up in Connecticut texted me and wants a custom shifter made up. He's got a hand shifter on his chopper. So we're gonna see what we can do for him. I got an idea in mind and I tried to draw it on my laptop here. I didn't think you guys are gonna see it very well. You know, there it is there. I drew it here real quick by hand just to kind of give you an idea. It's 3 3/4 inches long. It's got a 1.5 inch hex on the top, and it's got a taper. And we're gonna try to do some, you know, fancy stuff here on the taper for him. I got an idea in mind for the machine. I can't really draw it all that great. And then up on the top, he's got a he's in a band and it's called Union Rail. Go ahead and look them up on YouTube. They're fantastic. But we're gonna go ahead and put his, you know, couple letters on top for his logo that I think he'll like. So I figured why not? I'm gonna shoot a video of this so you guys can see it. It's not what I had in mind for the first video, but it is what it is, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So stay tuned for a little more. All right, so I got the stock chucked up in the machine. We got 4 inches or so hanging out here, so we got plenty to do it. I'm gonna go ahead and touch off on the face and touch off on the side to kind of get my datum points so I can start programming this thing. I actually already did the face. So I already have that zeroed out, so I'm just gonna go ahead and touch the side here, and I'm gonna take a little cut. And we're gonna measure that. And let the computer know kind of where the cutter is, and it's already on the money. My screen's telling me 1 inch 980, and this is 1 inch 981. And being that this is kind of just something that I'm playing around with, I'm not too concerned about 1,000. It's this is just for fun. So I'm gonna program it and get this thing running for you. I'm gonna have my music going, so I'm just gonna go ahead and mute this part. But after I get the contour roughed out, I'll come back and talk a little bit about what I want to do for a fancy decorative thing on the taper, and I'm gonna end up testing it with a Sharpie, so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. Stay tuned. I want to introduce you guys to our little guy here, Theo. He wasn't here for our introduction video. He was out quoting a job. He wanted to be here, but you know, business is business. So Theo does a lot of our quoting, billing, and he does some inspection from time to time when he feels like it. Other than that, he likes to sleep a lot. So Okay, so I told you guys I had like a funky idea for this tapered part so it doesn't look so bland. I've been screwing with this for a couple minutes now. Here's the Sharpie setup. So if I show you guys the program, this is a threading cycle. We're going to start at the X, which is, this is X on this machine and this is Z on any lathe. We're going to start at 750, which is the minor diameter of the taper down here. And the beginning of the taper starts 1/8 away from the face, and then the end of the taper is 1 1/4, and it's 2 5/8 away. I'm actually going to change that back. I set it a little farther away, just because I did it with a Sharpie already, and I just erased it with some Scotch-Brite, so you guys didn't know that, but I'm just letting you know anyways. So I'm going to change that back actually to -2.625 incremental, so it'll go 2 5/8 from where it began, not from the face itself. So pitch in this computer, whatever you want your pitch to be. If it's a 10, if it's a 10 pitch, you would do 1 divided by 10, and you would do 0.1. So this, again, this is just me screwing around here. 1 divided by 2, so 2 threads per inch is 0.5. So over 2 5/8, I'm going to get roughly 2.5 threads. Number of passes, because we're just doing this one mark, is going to be 1, no spring passes. Plunge angle doesn't matter because we're doing it in one cut. Doing it on the outside of the part, not on the internal diameter. And the number of starts we're going to do is 4, and that's just the tool I have, 22. So when I run this now, let me get this set up where I need it to be. Let's go right here. Nice and slow, because the machine is threading a pretty coarse thread, so it doesn't like to go fast. I'm going to run this program with the chuck spinning in the correct direction. When I say correct direction, I mean in the counterclockwise rotation. Now I'm going to run it the other way, and I'm going to run it again. So it'll give him this. I'm gonna do it with a cut or the threading tool, so it'll be cut into the material. I just had to test it with the Sharpie to see if I could make this happen, because it was just something I thought of on the couch the other night. But it looks like it's going to. So now I'm going to try to set this up to do it with a cutter, and once it cuts, it'll be in the cut, in the material, and then afterwards I'm going to paint this whole thing black, and then I'm going to put it back in the machine, and I'm going to polish away the top surface so that just this cone or this crosshatch look is black, kind of like what you see right now. So just to give you an idea of what I'm doing. Alright, I'm going to set up to do the next part, and I'll get back to you guys. Alright, so last night, we're into the next day here. Last night my camera died, but I had this thing set up, and when I do threading or anything like this, I like to finish it when I had the same thought process going. So you guys didn't really get to see me cut that. My apologies. I'm gonna work on getting another another battery for this GoPro. So I cut the spiral in it, and after I did it with the Sharpie, I called up my buddy in Connecticut and showed him what we were dealing with, and he said, let's just do it in one direction. Let's not do the double direction like I had done with the Sharpie in the video. So I changed that. I changed it so now there's six threads on it, 6 starts instead of 4. And then I drilled and tapped the end of this for 5/8 18 because I'm gonna make another piece that goes threads in the end here, so it's got a little radius boss on the end. I'm doing that, 1, so that it has this little radius boss that looks good, and 2, this is aluminum threads, and if he goes and threads this on and off a number of times, I could have a little concern with the thread losing its integrity and loosening up. So I'm gonna make him the second part out of steel, so he can Loctite that into here, and then he's got steel threads that he's gonna be taking on and off of the bike, which I know will hold up a little bit better than the aluminum. I also counterbored the end of this a little bit, about 1/8 of an inch into 5/8 diameter, so when I cut the male 5/8 diameter on the other piece, whatever radius or shoulder is on the end of my thread, I know that it will bottom all the way down so that you don't really see the gap in between this and the next piece I'm gonna make. So I'm gonna get this set up to cut it off of the slug that I'm holding it on. I have this little tool I'm gonna show you guys that I made, or actually had a buddy of mine make for me when I was trying to show him how to do some machining, and I'll get back to you. So this is the tool I was telling you guys about. When you get a piece short like this, my vise on my machine, at least for my bandsaw, this isn't long enough for me to grab, and if you have something short, you know, even that the vise will grab. If you don't have the same diameter piece at the back of the vise, then the vise wants to kick and it doesn't grab it right. So we made this piece, this tool. It's just a 1/2 inch plate with a bunch of tapped holes in it, and then 2 other pieces that have a taper milled on it and some slots for some 1/4 inch bolts. So this is acting as a V-block, and then you just have your standard Bridgeport clamp holding it down, and then you just grab the plate in the vise. I actually haven't used this yet, so this is going to be the first time. I'm hoping it works out because now it's on video. So that cut pretty well and held it up. It didn't move or anything, so it worked out nice. This piece I probably could have used my part-off tool, would have been close, but I wanted to try this. You know, it's more set up for a piece like this. If I had to turn 1 inch of this, and it was solid, my parting tool wouldn't make it, so I would put it on this thing and cut it instead. So I'm gonna get this set up in the chuck on the mill, and we're gonna do the hex next. Okay, so I got the piece chucked up in this 3-jaw chuck that I just clamped down to the table of the Bridgeport, and I used an indicator to find the center. I had a font on the computer that I drew, but I can't seem to get my ProtoTrack controller to read it, so we're just going to engrave it with the UR for Union Rail like I talked about. So here's the next video that's going to do that. Okay, so we're gonna make a hex here out of the top now. I just programmed it up on the machine here. And this is, when I use look, this is just so I can check what I'm doing. So I'm gonna run that part. Now I'm using a 2-flute high-speed steel end mill, 1/2 inch diameter. I got that programmed in the computer as well. Okay, so we got this hex cut out now, and I took it out of the machine and deburred it. It's starting to look pretty good. I have a piece of 1-inch stock here. It's cold rolled steel. I'm gonna machine the part that's gonna thread in the end now. So this is definitely not to scale, but it's just a quick sketch. It's gonna have 1 inch of 5/8 18 thread on it, with a boss at the end that's going to be 7/8 in diameter, 1/4 inch long, with some 1/16 radiuses on the corners, and then I'll have 3/8 24 going down the middle of it, so that it'll thread onto the shifter arm itself. I'm just going to set this up in the machine and shoot a video of it running, but I just want to tell you guys what's going on next.
in my trunk and my clothes, and out your door I'll go. Now tell me, baby, what you think of me. Well, now tell me, baby, what you...
Alright guys, so this is our finished product here. Gonna be kind of a cool little shift knob for our buddy up in Connecticut. I think it came out alright. I hope he likes it. If not, let's see if somebody at United Rentals wants it. And yeah, so like I said, not exactly what I had in mind for my first video, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll try to get something that's got a little more actual dimensions, an actual project coming in. I have a couple things coming up on our list, so I'll keep you guys in the loop. Thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and check back for some more later. Thanks so much.